Hey everybody, Coach Matt, EliteThrowsCoaching.com, coming to you today to talk to you more about our Week 3, Day 2 upper body pressing day. So if you have been following along at home, if you've been watching these videos, you've seen that this day looks a lot different than what I showed you yesterday with squat day. With squatting day, the main movement has stayed exactly the same. Everything has stayed the same. The weight has stayed the same. The only difference is that we are lowering the box about 1 inch every single week, going a little bit deeper. Something we did differently, a way of showing you another way that you can do this if you have enough equipment and variety with where you're working, is going to be changing the actual exercise, changing not necessarily the movement, but you can change the bar that you use to essentially change the exercise and make it totally different. So in week 1, we did the Swiss bar with the vertical handles. So the Swiss bar, we used the middle handle and we did all the same weight, bar, 95, 135, 185, 200, 10, 8, 5, 5, 5. Great, easy way to start the week. Week 2, we changed it up. So last week you saw we did that foam press where we let the bar come down into that half foam roller, and we did that with a pause, just like we did with the Swiss bar on week 1. So we did the same exact weight, bar, 95, 135, 185, but when we got to the last set, it was feeling a lot easier than week 1. So I bumped up the weight another 5 pounds, and we did 205. Now this last week was just, to be honest, way too easy. Going from something like a Swiss bar where your hands are closer, they're at a much more difficult angle, and it's a lot more tricep dominant, to going into something like a straight bar into foam, which limits your range of motion. Even though there's still a pause, you're shortening the range of motion. I should have known better and I should have used heavier weight. So I kind of wrote that down. I said it was too easy, and we're keeping that kind of for today to program and plan what we're doing today. Today we're going to be doing what's called a Spoto Press. Now these have had many different names, but essentially we're going to bring the bar down and pause with the bar about 1 inch off of our chest. So I'm going to start off the same way I always do. Bar, 95, 135, 10, 8, 5. Now after that, I'm going to make that jump to 185. Now after that, I'm going to jump again. I don't know what I'm going to jump to. I don't know if I'm going to go to 200, 205, if I'm going to make a bigger jump to say 215, 220, or if I'm feeling really good like I was last week, I might add a second additional set as well to make a smaller jump. So maybe 185, 205, 225. We don't know. We're going to get into it today. You have to leave yourself the ability to kind of be malleable, to change a little bit, because you are changing the exercise. And even though these are exercises that are meant to correct my weakness and they're meant to improve my strength, to kind of get out of that sticking point, which is about 1 inch off my chest, each exercise is going to be a little bit easier or feel a little bit harder depending on the bar that you use. So I am leaving that last couple of sets up to interpretation. We'll see how I feel. We'll see how my shoulder is feeling. We'll see how everything looks after the warm-up is done and we get into those final couple of sets. Now, everything else is staying pretty much the same, but we're going to show you how we're going to change it to make it a little bit more difficult. So Trx Rows, week 1, 4 sets of 20. First week back after about a 5-week layoff, 4 sets of 20 felt pretty difficult. Week 2, 5 sets of 20 actually felt okay. They didn't feel much harder than 4 sets of 20 the week before. So what are we going to do? We're going to do 6 sets of 20. We can't keep adding sets and adding sets. That's not really the way this works. I want to make the exercise feel a little bit more difficult, and I don't want to be in here all day long. I think that 100 repetition range is still kind of at the top end of what I want to do. So instead, I'm going to try 4 sets of 25 today. Now, 4 sets of 20 was tough. 5 sets of 20, still tough, felt like the first day. Let's see what 4 sets of 25 feels like. So we're going to decrease the sets. We're going to do 1 less set than we did last week, but we're going to increase the repetitions by 5 to get the same amount of number. 100 reps here and 100 reps here. Now after that, we're going to do the Swiss bar push-ups. Now, 4 sets of 15 on the first day because I was already tired. Again, first day back in 5.5 weeks or whatever it was, feeling a little bit tired. Last week, they felt way too easy. I added one additional set and it still felt way too easy. So what am I gonna do this week? I'm gonna keep the same amount of sets, the same amount of repetitions, but I'm gonna lower the bar. Instead of having the bar where it would normally be, I have a mark where I normally would do things like recline rows or take the bar out of the rack to do my curls on day 4. And instead of putting it there, I'm gonna put it about 6 inches lower, 6 to 8 inches lower, and try to do the 5 sets of 15. So the intensity is gonna be higher, the difficulty is gonna be higher because I'm lowering the bar and decreasing that angle. So the closer you get to the ground, the harder it becomes, just like doing a regular push-up. So we'll see how that feels. We'll touch base after this is all done. And then finally, the tricep press downs. So the first week, 60, 70, 70, 70, 4 sets of 12. Now this is where I messed up. I did 4 sets of 15 on week 2, and 4 sets of 15 was very, very tough. The third set, I only got 14. The fourth set, I only got 12. Now that felt really weird to me. Like, why does it feel so much difficult? I only added 10 pounds. So where was the difficulty? If this was really good and easy, why was this so difficult? Why was this so hard? Well, I did 15 instead of 12. So that's my fault. I messed up. So I increased the amount of sets. I increased the amount of repetitions and the weight. So I changed 2 things. I made it 2 times harder, and I shouldn't have done that. So this week, I'm gonna try to stick with exactly what I did last week. So it's same exact weight, same exact amount of sets, but I'm going to try to do more repetitions. So last week was 15, 15, 14, 12. My goal this week is gonna be 15, 15, 15, 13. So I'm gonna try to do at least 1 or 2 more repetitions per set. Again, do more reps, break that record. I know I really can't go heavier than this, because there's no way I'm gonna be able to get that 12 to 15 range. I'm gonna be way too fatigued if I tried to go like 70, 80, 90, 90, or 80, 90, 90, 90. That's not gonna happen, okay? So I had to find a way to make it more difficult. I'm going to do the same exact exercise, sets, reps, weight, everything will be the same, but more repetitions. The goal is to break that record. And then just like yesterday, we're gonna report back after this, tell you how everything went, show you, kind of fill in the blank. I like using different colored markers. So fill in the blank with the different color markers, show exactly what happened, if it was tough or not as tough, how I was feeling, all that stuff right after we do the voiceover. Hope you guys are enjoying these. Let me know in the comments section down below what else you'd like to see, and let's get into the workout. All right, let's talk about the Spoto Press. So Spoto Press is basically an invisible one board. You're gonna bring the bar down to about 1 inch off your chest, and then you're gonna pause, and then you're gonna press. Pretty simple stuff. Nothing too complex, nothing too crazy. Again, what we're trying to do here, my thoughts on this, and a lot of other coaches' thoughts on this, is that when you have a sticking point in something like a bench press. So for me, if I were to bring the bar all the way down to my chest with maximal weight and fail pressing it, I would fail about 2 inches off my chest. I explode off the chest, and then essentially right where I'm pausing right now is where I would typically fail and not be able to finish the rep that I was doing. So that's why all of the exercises so far have been exercises that are designed to put the bar at my weakest point, which is about 1 inch off of my chest. So you can see here, working up, now this is 135 on the bar, and working up, still able to pause it, no pain in the shoulder, everything feeling good. At this point, I started thinking I shouldn't go 185, so I went to 170, made a little bit of a smaller jump, and then I was going to add in the extra set at the end. So this is 170 for 5. And you can see, nice and gentle, bring it down, pause for that split second, and then press. So this is a lot tougher than bringing it, at least for me, a lot tougher than bringing the bar all the way down. It also feels a lot better on my shoulders, and there's no pain. This is 190, so 20 pounds over what I just did. Again, a smaller jump. Got this for a very decent, nice, easy set of 5. Probably would be able to do this for somewhere in the 8 to 10 range if I were to really push myself. So a nice medium to heavy set of 5. And then this is my top set. This is 210 for 5. Probably could have gotten this for 6 if I had a spotter. More than likely 7 if I had a spotter and a bunch of people yelling and screaming at me, trying to get me really fired up. But pretty happy with how this looked today. Again, going into next week, I think I made the right decisions with adding the extra set and taking some smaller jumps, getting in the extra work. Now, if I fall asleep talking here, it's because this is the first set of 25 repetitions of Trx rows. You'll notice the first set and then the next video here is my last set look pretty much identical. And that's not really a good thing. That means that this exercise is way too easy for me and that I need to get rid of it. So we're at the end of our initial 3-week wave. The point of this week was to, again, get in some good general physical preparation, get in some good work, do a lot of reps, get back into it, get our body back. But at this point, this exercise is no longer going to be used for anything that I have goals of attaining. So it in no way is heavy enough to promote strength. It's no way heavy enough to promote size. It's basically a true endurance exercise at this point. So this right here, this is my last set of 25. Anytime you're doing 100 repetitions of anything, it's no longer strength. It can no longer qualify for a strength movement because at that point you've gone beyond and now you're into more of a strength endurance type phase. And that's not the point right now. Maybe for the first 3 weeks it was good to do, but moving forward I need to do something heavier. I need to do something that's going to be a little bit more challenging. I was losing count at one point and I even timed this last set. It was 48 seconds. I mean, 48 seconds, that's like, you know, someone running like the 300 meter, and I'm not a 300 meter runner. You know, I'm a strength athlete. I need to get stronger. I need to use heavier weight. Speaking of that, this is my, I believe, 3rd set, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's my 2nd set of the Swiss bar push-ups. So I started out 6 inches lower than last week for 15. That was too easy. Dropped another 6 inches, too easy. Dropped another 6 inches, too easy. And the last set was actually done at the lowest setting possible. So if you notice those giant bolts down at the bottom of this squat rack that I'm using, those are what attach the rack to the base. And there's no way that you can attach the J-cups any lower than what you're seeing right here. This is 12 inches off the ground for a set of 15. Again, way too easy. It definitely was harder than last week because the weight was getting, or the angle was getting closer to the ground, but these need to go. Same as the Trx rows. This would be great as a warm-up exercise if I wanted to do these as part of my warm-up, but again, those are done. Those are leaving. This is my 3rd set of press downs. Last week with this weight, 80 pounds, I only got 14 reps, so the goal here was 15 reps to break that record from last week, which I got. So very exciting, got it done, broke the record, mission accomplished, achievement attained. So the last set as well, which was going to be coming up here pretty soon, you can see it's a little bit of a struggle, but this is what a set of 15 should look like. It should be a very hard set of 15 where the form and technique doesn't break down that much. This is the last set, which last week I got 12. This week I actually got 14. So you can see here, trying to keep the exercise nice and strict, trying to get all 15, but I only got 14, but still better than last week, and that's progress. I'm going to keep these in my workout, but definitely go heavier next week, maybe dropping down to sets of 10 or sets of 12, or changing up the handle of the exercise a little bit, the grip a little bit, maybe even the tempo a little bit. Something to make it a little bit more challenging to, again, attain those goals of strength and size, working into next week. Okay, so we actually have a lot to talk about. I thought today was going to be very straightforward, but we've got a lot to go over. So first things first, 1, 2, 3 big red check marks. These 3 exercises I think are perfect for what I'm looking for right now, which is avoiding the shoulder injury and building up my weak point of that sticking point about 1 inch off of my chest. Those 3 exercises I think are good. I'm going to leave them in. So week 4, we're going to break the record from week 1, should not be hard to do. Week 5, we're gonna break the record from week 2, and week 6, we're gonna break the record that we did today. So that's how it's gonna work for weeks 4, 5, and 6. But let's talk about today, because today was a little bit weird. First of all, Spoto Press. You saw that, bringing the bar down, pausing about 1 inch off the chest, and then pressing back up. Bar for 10, 95 for 8, 135 for 5. At this point, it started feeling like it did last week, where it was like, I'm going way too light, I'm going way too easy. I didn't want to make the big jump to 185, because I know I wanted to add an extra set in there as well, because I felt like I didn't do enough on the first 3 sets. So instead of having kind of a medium set, dropped my pen, medium set, and then kind of a heavier set, what I did instead was I added the extra set. So I did 170 for 5, 190 for 5, and then 210 for 5. So I kind of like split the difference, I guess, if you want to say that. So 135 to 170, 35 pounds, then another 20, then another 20. And those all went really well. The 210 for 5, that to me at this point is what a nice solid set of 5 should feel like. If I had a spotter, could I have gotten 1 more? Yeah. If I had a spotter and 2 like close lifters like yelling at me, could I have gotten 7? Probably, but a good, nice, heavy set of 5, perfect for right now. All right, Trx Rows, you see the big red X. That's because those aren't gonna be in the workout anymore. One set, my last set of 25 repetitions took 48 seconds. That's way too long. This is an exercise that I'm probably gonna move into my warm-ups for the next 3 weeks. So either on deadlift day or on bench day, I'm gonna add in the Trx Rows as part of my warm-up. They're not heavy enough, they take way too long, they're boring. I'm trying to trick myself into counting to 25. Like I count to 5 and then I count to 10, 15, 20, because I literally lose count. I'm at like 20 and I'm going, is that 15 or is that 20? Because these all feel way too light. So those are gone. Swiss bar push-ups, big X, those are gonna be gone. No longer gonna be doing those. I'm probably gonna be adding a second heavy pushing movement after my main pressing movement. So something like a dumbbell press, an incline press with dumbbells, an incline press with a straight bar. I don't know yet what that's gonna be, but I gotta get rid of those. You saw the first set of 15 was 6 inches lower than last week. And 15 easy. Dropped it another 6 inches, 15 easy. Dropped it another 6 inches. Now we're at 16 inches off the ground, easy. And then I went as low as I could possibly get before hitting the bolts and stuff that connect the rack together. That's 12 inches off the ground, easy. So those are gone, no longer doing those. And then press downs, I think I got 14 on that last one, but broke the record from last week. So same exact press down, same exact movement, same exact weight, same handle, same everything. 15, 15, 15, 14, where last week, I believe, 15, 15, 14, 12. So again, 3 more repetitions than last week, broke that record, all good. Those I'm gonna leave in there as well. Press downs are just a staple. I'm gonna change up the handles a lot, use different handles, use the rope, use a straight bar, lots of different ways, underhanded, overhanded, lots of different ways to do press downs, lots of different attachments. So a lot to report on today, but pretty much the workout felt a heck of a lot better than it did last week. And that's because I made changes on the fly. Sometimes that's what you have to do. So I changed up the exercise on that first one. And it worked, but I also had to change up the amount of sets and the amount of weight to get it to feel like I was actually fatigued, like I did a lot of good work today. I did fewer sets and more repetitions on the Trx Rows. I think they felt just about the same as they did last week and the week before. It's still 100 repetitions. I thought doing 25 reps per set was gonna be tough. It wasn't, but fewer sets, more reps, goal achieved. More intensity on the Swiss bar press. Felt a little bit tougher than last week, so goal achieved. More repetitions on the press downs, even though the weight was the same, goal achieved. So hit all the goals that I wanted to hit today. Again, for next week, we're gonna be keeping the main movements the same. We're gonna be more than likely adding in a secondary heavy pressing movement after the first one. We're gonna do more of a weighted row instead of a body weight row. We're gonna do a press down and possibly another bicep movement in addition to the warm-up. or another tricep movement after the press downs. We'll see how it feels on week 4 when I go through it. Everything else today was exactly the same. Warm-up stretches, warm-up circuit, exactly the same. Same amount of time, same amount of weight, same amount of reps, same exercises. All good, all the same. I'm probably going to keep those very similar next week, but like I said, I might be adding in something like a TRX row. We're changing up the type of face pull, just a little bit more, variety, switch it up a little bit. Nothing too crazy. So that's it. Lot to report on today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video series. Next week we are going to be, again, not doing this anymore. We're going to be moving on to something else to help you all out, but we are going to be doing 2 more days of this. So tomorrow we're going to be going back to our Shots Fired series. We're going to be talking about other things in the track and field world that I absolutely hate. And then Thursday is our deadlift, and Friday is our leftover workout. And that's going to do it for this video series, for this playlist. Thank you guys all for watching. I hope it's helping you out. Any questions, please leave them down below in the comment section. Thank you guys so much. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.